Are you struggling with moving resources efficiently, or your world is a lag fast because of badly optimized mods? Then welcome back to the third video in our mod ranking series, where we explore the mods of all the mods 9. In this episode, I will guide you through various logistic mods that allow you to transport large quantities of resources, filter them down to the smallest detail, and allow you to control a whole factory full of machines with one block. I will rank them based on essential factors like transportation speed, lag, filtering, and ease of use. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on the series, as I will cover other essential categories such as resource generation, exploration, and equipment very soon. Let's jump right into our first mod. We're starting out strong with Modular Routers, a mod that moves items, power, and fluids using different modules and upgrades. The key play here is the Modular Router block, which can combine 21 different modules. Quick tip: if your modular router isn't working, check if fake players are activated. For item transportation, the polar, sender, and distributor modules are your go-to. With stack and speed upgrades, you can move up to 192 items per tick. Plus, you can send items wirelessly across dimensions with the MK3 sender module. And another tip: to reduce lag, always use stack upgrades over speed, and also use a muffler upgrade to reduce animations. Speaking of lag, let's have a quick crash course on what lag actually is. More specifically, TPS lag, which stands for ticks per second. Minecraft aims to run at 20 ticks per second, where each tick should ideally take 50,000 microseconds. If you have too many machines, entities, or blocks that use up these 50,000 microseconds, you will produce server lag. To see how much a machine uses, you can use mods like Spark or Observable, which show you the microseconds used. For modular routers, I've seen an average value of 54 microseconds. However, even more interesting than the general lag value is the transportation per lag, since some machines might transport only 5 items but use 5 microseconds, while another might move 100 times that amount and only use 5 times the amount of microseconds, making it more efficient for bulk operations. End of the crash course, let's go to power. The energy output and energy distributor modules handle up to 32,000 FE per tick with 3048 FE per microsecond. For fluids, the fluid modules MK1 and 2 with fluid transfer upgrades can move up to 400 millibuckets per tick, which results in 67 millibuckets per microsecond. Filtering is great with modular routers, offering type, mods, tag, name, and inspection filters for enchantments, durability, or fill levels. Overall, modular routers is a user-friendly mod for small to medium projects, providing reliable transport speeds and minimal lag. It gets a solid A tier in this ranking. Next up, we have PneumaticCraft Repressurized, a mod that introduces air pressure-based machines and gadgets, including drones for automating your systems. There are 5 types of drones, but we'll focus on the programmable one since it can do everything the others can and more. Logistics in this mod are planned out in a programmer using a puzzle-like system. To move items, you need a start, an import from inventory, an export to inventory, and 2 areas to define where the drone should operate. And you will need a GPS to set these locations. A drone can move a maximum of 125 items per tick when fully upgraded, resulting in 0.7 items per microsecond, making them quite lag heavy. However, you can reduce the lag with the programmable controller, which offers limited functionality but better performance, which is better for logistics. Power-wise, the programmable controller can move 100,000 FE per tick, which translates to 2,353 FE per microsecond, which is a good example to compare to modular routers, as both are pretty close in FE per microsecond, even though PneumaticCraft can transport 3 times as much but also produces 3 times the amount of lag. For fluids, drones can transport 28,800 millibuckets per tick, which is 465 millibuckets per microsecond, making it slightly above average. In terms of filtering, drones have good base filters for types, mods, and durability, and they can include a NBT matcher, though it's somewhat limited. You can also connect drones to ComputerCraft for almost unlimited possibilities. In the end, drones aren't plug and play and take more effort for generic transportation. Also, they have an average transport performance because of their high lag values, and filtering is nothing special either. This leaves PneumaticCraft Repressurized with a C tier ranking. Next up is our storage ranking winner, Refined Storage, which provides not only general storage but also item and fluid transportation as well as automation features. I will also cover its add-ons. A general setup to transport items requires an importer and exporter, a controller, and some kind of storage. This can be a chest connected with external storage or any kind of refined storage drive. For maximum transport speeds, use exporters and importers by cable tiers, which increases the speed further and already integrates the stack upgrade, allowing you to add 4 instead of 3 speed upgrades. This setup allows us to move 14,000 items per tick with no lag. This makes it the fastest and least laggy item transportation in the whole ranking. For fluid transportation, it works similarly. Just switch the mode of the importer and the exporter to fluid. The maximum fluid transfer is 248,000 millibuckets per tick with no lag, making it the 3rd best fluid transporter. Typical filtering isn't a strength of refined storage. You can limit the item transfer by type and through the exact choice, which also uses MBT, but there aren't many options beyond that. However, the interface and the crafter compensate for the limited filtering by offering features like keeping items in stock or auto-crafting. To summarize, refined storage offers fast and lag-free item and fluid transportation, especially through its add-ons. The lack of the power transportation and the limited filtering are drawbacks, but they don't affect its S-tier ranking. Now we have one of 2 mods most people wanted to see in this ranking instead of storage, which is DimStorage, a mod that lets you connect 2 storages across dimensions for a simple frequency. DimStorage adds both a dimensional chest and a dimensional tank, though it doesn't include any power storage. Each chest and tank can be assigned a frequency, and if 2 or more storages use the same frequency, they are connected. This allows for cheap cross-dimensional item and fluid transportation. The chest itself cannot output items, so defining a transportation rate isn't really possible, but it produces almost no lag. The tank can auto-eject directly, but it only handles 100 millibuckets per tick, which is 3 millibuckets per microsecond, as the tank causes quite some lag when auto-ejecting. DimStorage is great for cross-dimensional transportation while being cheap and easy to set up. However, since it can't input, output or filter items, I can't give it a high ranking, leaving it with a B tier. Mod number 5 is LaserIO, a flexible logistics mod that offers wireless transportation of items, fluids and power. A basic setup for items consists of 2 laser nodes, 2 item cards and a laser wrench. Inside the item cards you can choose options like insert, extract, stock or sensor. The maximum transfer speed is 576 items per tick, resulting in 6.3 items per microsecond, which places it in the top 5 of item transporters. This speed can be achieved by using 9 item cards through the node overclocker, each with 4 card overclockers, to reach the maximum of 64 items per tick per card. For power, LaserIO can reach a maximum transfer of 1.8 million FE per tick, resulting in 400,000 FE per microsecond. For fluids, it can transport 72,000 millibuckets per tick, resulting into 1,200 millibuckets per microsecond. Lastly, you can add laser connectors between 2 laser nodes to increase the range, or you can use 2 advanced laser connectors which can be connected across dimensions for easy cross-dimensional transportation. Additionally, you can add filters for items, tags, mods and MBT, providing one of the best filtering options in the ranking. LaserIO is very powerful, offering great filtering while still being reasonably easy to use. It has one of the best item transfer speeds and its fluid and power transportation are above average. This places LaserIO at the top of A tier ahead of Modular Routers. Now we have Foregoing, a mod that has received 2 different rankings so far. Let's see how the conveyor belts and the compact transporters of this mod fare this time. First, let's cover the conveyor belts. These come in the base version as well as 7 upgrades, allowing for different ways of transporting or filtering. To transport items between 2 chests, you need a conveyor and both an insertion and extraction upgrade. You can increase the speed of the conveyor by right-clicking with glowstone. Other upgrades let you catapult items, drop them inside the chest, split them or teleport them a short distance. The better transporters in Foregoing are, however, the, transporters. These transporters can be placed at storages and connect to each other as long as they are within 1 block distance. The input and output are set by clicking a button, allowing for quick switching. The speed of the transporters can be increased by adding speed and efficiency upgrades by right-clicking the transporter with them. This setup allows the transporter to move 64 items per tick, resulting in 0.7 items per microsecond, making it below average. The fluid transporter works identically and can transport 3,250 millibuckets per tick, resulting in 42 millibuckets per microsecond, making it again below average. On the filtering side, we have a type filter for black and white lists and a regulation mode restricting item amounts. Additionally, there's the enchantment sorter, which can separate enchanted from non-enchanted items. Sadly, transportation is not industrial foregoing strength. The transport speeds with the transports are average but heavily limited by the distance, and filtering options are minimal. Also, the conveyor belts are very inefficient and should not be used for item transportation, leaving industrial foregoing again with an F tier ranking. Let's cover another classic mod, Mekanism, which adds various types of pipes, tubes, cables, and a powerful wireless block. Mekanism has 4 levels for each of their transporters and cables, ranging from basic to ultimate. All of these are very easy to use and can be configured for input and output through the configurator. The maximum item transport speed is 6.4 items per tick, resulting in 0.3 items per microsecond, which places it among the worst item transporters. For power transport, we have a special case, as we can transport more power with more cables placed. Each ultimate cable can transport 3.27 million FE per tick without producing any lag, making it the 4th ranked power transporter. For fluids, we can move 32,000 millibuckets per tick, resulting in around 11,000 millibuckets per microsecond. Besides the pipe, there's also the wireless block ITs, the Quantum Entangled Porter, which allows you to move items, fluids, power, and more all in one block. Lastly, for filtering, we have the Logical Sorter. This pipe can be added to your item transportation system and allows for filtering by color channels, types, mods, tags, and stack amounts. Mekanism offers great transportation options. The cables and pipes are easy to use and it's high up in the ranking for power transportation. The wireless transport with the Entangled Porter is a huge advantage. However, the filtering isn't perfect and the item transport speeds are very underwhelming, placing Mekanism behind LaserIO in the A tier. Now we're going to cover a power-only mod, Powah, which adds various cables and wireless solutions for power transfer. The cables and power range from basic to nitro, offering power transfer from 500 FE per tick to 1 million FE per tick. A nice feature is that you can walk through them, making placement easier in tight spots. At the maximum speed of 1 million FE per tick, they don't produce any lag, making it an above average power transporter. Besides the cables, Powah includes Ender cells and Ender gates for wireless energy. The Ender cells store energy and you increase the storage by adding batteries or energy cells. To provide energy, you just add a gate to a machine of your choice. There are also player transmitters, which can charge items in your inventory across dimensions with a transfer speed of 2 million FE per tick, though this produces more lag, resulting in 24,000 FE per microsecond. Powah excels in power generation, which earned it an S tier in our previous video. However, its power transportation isn't as strong. If this were a power logistics only ranking, it would be an A tier, but since it isn't, Powah drops to B tier ahead of DimStorage. Now we have a smaller mod called Wireless Charger, which true to its name adds wireless charging for your machines and the player. The chargers come in a basic version and an advanced version, which increases the size and the maximum amount of power it can transfer. The maximum speed we can reach is 200 FE per tick, resulting in 6 FE per microsecond, making it the worst power transporter. However, since the power transfer happens to all blocks simultaneously, it somewhat redeems itself. Overall, wireless chargers are a great idea, I love it, but the maximum transfer rate is too low and it only works for some of the weakest machines. That's why it's placed in F tier behind Industrial Foregoing. Next up, we have Integrated Dynamics. This mod's core concept revolves around automation and logic systems, adding cables and interfaces that can interact with almost anything in the world. To transport items from one storage to another, you need an item interface, an item exporter, a logic cable, and a variable card. The variable card needs to be placed inside the exporter, with the most generic being export all items. The maximum export speed for items is 64 items per tick with no lag, making it the 3rd best item transporter. For energy and fluid, you use the same structure but with the energy and fluid equivalents of the item interface and exporter. After you added the variable card, you can adjust the transfer speed to a maximum of 2.147 billion units per tick without producing any lag, making Integrated Dynamics the 2nd fastest energy and the fastest fluid transporter. Additionally, there's a wireless transport system through connectors. The omnidirectional connectors allow for cross-dimensional access. To connect 2 omni connectors, place them together in a crafting table, which forms a group. This way, instead of crafting a sink for every machine, you could create a water group and connect all machines to a single sink. Filtering is the strength of this mod. Integrated Dynamics offers the best filtering options, allowing you to filter by type, amount, mod, tag, name, NBT, whatever you can imagine. However, this complexity can be challenging. Even after more than 1 hour of trying and checking the mod's Discord, I was unable to recreate the Apotheosis NBT filter I used for my Enderman farm. Integrated Dynamics is super powerful and produces no lag, offers the best filtering and a cheap wireless solution. If only the filtering were a bit easier. Regardless, it deserves the S tier ahead of refined storage. Also, if you're interested in a more detailed breakdown of all the Powah and logistic rankings in the form of Google Sheets, as well as other cool perks, check out my Patreon. The link is in the video description. Our next mod is Create, known for its big machines, conveyor belts, and transport systems, but cannot keep up with our other mods so far. Conveyor belts can move 1 stack per slot at a time, with the speed depending on the rotational speed applied. Items on the conveyor are not counted as item entities, keeping the lag low. For the smallest distance, we can reach 8 items per tick, resulting in 0.5 items per microsecond, making it a below average transporter even for short distances. Chutes are similar but move items vertically. Normal chutes move 16 items, while smart chutes move 64 items at a time, resulting in around 10 items per tick. Weighted ejectors can also move a stack at a time across a distance, offering a similar speed to conveyor belts. And lastly, the mechanical arm can also move 64 items at a time, but it's more suited for filtering and item distribution. Crate can also move energy with the New Age add-on, which adds electrical connectors and wires. The maximum transfer speed is 8192 FE per tick without any lag. For fluids, Crate has fluid pipes and the mechanical pump, which can transfer up to 125 millibuckets per tick, resulting in 5 millibuckets per microsecond, making it one of the worst fluid transporters. Create's filtering was a pleasant surprise, offering an easy approach through lists and attribute filters that look for tags, mods, and even combines white and black lists in one. To summarize, Create impressed with its filtering and also power transfer. However, fluid and item transfer is below average, especially for long distances, placing Create at the bottom of C tier behind PneumaticCraft Repressurized. Super Factory Manager is a mod not used by many, but its logistical features and simplified coding setup make it versatile and powerful. The mod primarily consists of the Factory Manager and inventory cables, which function as connectors between inventories and machines. Also, you will need ProgramDisk to write your code. Examples of such code can be previewed inside the Factory Manager, like the Furnace Manager or the RE2 Inscriber setup. Let's preview the Furnace Manager. You will have 4 missing labels, 3 for inventories and 1 for the furnace. To define a label, use a label gun. Sneak right-click to pull the labels from the machine and then scroll through them to apply them. A basic setup might look like this. And lastly, you just push the labels by right-clicking on the Factory Manager. A great thing about this mod is how easily you can scale up the system. Just add more furnaces and sneak right-click to connect all of them. Now let's talk about speed. The Factory Manager can move 3.2 items per tick, which is 0.2 items per microsecond, placing it at the bottom for singular movement. However, it can instantly move items to an infinite number of blocks without a big lag increase. For energy transfer, it can transport 100,000 FE per tick, resulting in 5,500 FE per microsecond, which is below average. For fluid transport, it can transport 2.147 billion millibuckets per tick without any lag, making it one of the best fluid transporters along with integrated dynamics. Filtering was slightly disappointing as it doesn't support NBT data. However, it still offers most things you might need, like filtering by types, amounts, mods, tags, and specifically also slots inside of machines. Let's summarize. This mod is great if you can get behind the coding system, and I highly recommend you trying it. While it's not the fastest, its functionalities and fluid speed make it an A-tier mod ahead of Modular Routers. Let's talk about EnderIO, a mod that adds a variety of cables and conduits to the mod pack. In total, there are 5 conduits, 3 fluid conduits that are upgrades of each other, and 1 item and 1 energy conduit. The item conduit is moving 0.2 items per tick, resulting in less than 0.1 items per microsecond, making it the worst item transporter. However, the energy conduit is the opposite, transporting 3.14 billion FE per tick without any lag, which is actually above the integer value, making it the best energy transporter ahead of integrated dynamics. The fluid conduits transport 50, 100 and 200 millibuckets per process, with the highest conduit moving 40 millibuckets per tick. Although lag-free, it's still the worst fluid transporter. One drawback of all conduits is that all of them are set to never active in their redstone mode, requiring a manual change for every in and output. EnderIO falls short in both item and fluid transportation, partially due to the absence of speed upgrades in the current version. However, the energy conduits are so good, allowing the mod to reach B tier slightly ahead of Powah. If the mod gets properly updated to 1.21, it might actually reach A tier. Next up is EnderChests, and oh boy, did I get a lot of comments under the storage video for this one. EnderChests adds upgradable and color-codable chests and tanks to transport items and fluids across dimensions. To connect to EnderChests, they need the same color code. You can change the color code by sneak right-clicking the colors on the side of the chest with dice. The same applies to the Ender tanks. You can upgrade both Ender chests and Ender tanks with Ender pearls to increase their capacity. Additionally, you can upgrade Ender tanks with pistons to increase pump speed. Also, the Ender tank can output fluids directly by applying a redstone signal. There are no filters, but you can make them private when you sneak right-click them with a diamond. Overall, Ender chests and Ender tanks are convenient for logistics rather than item storage. For those who have watched my storage video, I prefer DimStorage over EnderChests because of the size and the frequency system over the color coding. This places EnderChests and Ender tanks at B tier right behind DimStorage. The next mod is an exception from the others. BloodMagic, a magic mod that adds a node-based logic system which can connect across short distances with a strong filtering system. Every BloodMagic setup consists out of a master node, the brain of the system, an input node, and an output node to transport your items. If you want to place the nodes further apart, you can use a plain router node. To connect the nodes, you need a node router. One downside is that you always need a filter inside each node. The easiest option is using an item filter set to blacklist for generic bulk item transport. To increase the transfer amount of items, you can add up to 16 logic upgrades, which allow you to move 144 items per second, which is 7.2 items per tick, resulting in 1 item per microsecond, which makes it average. But BloodMagic is strong in filtering, offering enchantment, item, mod, and tag filters. The enchantment filter is especially good, allowing you to define the enchantment level and type. You can also combine multiple filters with the composite filter, such as moving only enchanted swords by combining an enchantment filter with a tag filter set to forge swords. It's great to see a magic mod with logistics in this ranking. Overall, BloodMagic is average for transportation but stands out in filtering. However, without energy and fluid transportation, it only gets a C tier ranking ahead of Create. Now we have a upgraded version of both DimStorage and EnderChests, Entangled. This mod allows you to connect two blocks and interact with them as if they were the same. The mod adds only two items, the Entangled block and the Entangled binder. To connect two blocks, first select the target block by sneak right-clicking with the binder, and then click with the binder on the entangled block. This way, instead of using two ender chests, you can just interact with the chests directly. However, at least in Older Mods 9, this comes at a price, as the recipe for this block is quite high compared to its original recipe. The main use case of this mod is building cable-free systems targeting sites that might be blocked normally and directly connecting inputs and outputs for machines like reactors. The Entangled mod is simple yet powerful. There's a reason the cost was increased. For its unique capabilities, it gets an S tier ranking behind Refined Storage. XNet is our next mod, offering a cable-based networking system that allows you to control items, fluids, energy, gas, and logic from one block. The core component is the controller, which connects to all blocks via network cables and connected. The controller has 8 channels, each set to one type, like item, fluid, or energy. To move items from one drawer to another, set the channel to item, choose extract item for one, and insert item for the other. You can then adjust the transfer speed by reducing the tick time and changing the item transfer to stack. This setup moves 12.8 items per tick, resulting in 0.5 items per microsecond, which is below average for item transport. For energy, the fastest rate is 100,000 FE per tick, resulting in around 2,900 FE per microsecond, placing it again below average. And for fluids, it can transfer 2,500 millibuckets per tick, resulting in 71 millibuckets per microsecond, which also is below average. However, transfer speed is not where XNet shines. Its strength lies in logic, filtering, and additional functionality. It offers type, mod, tag, and some simple NPT filtering. Additionally, you can use RFTools filter modules to reuse the same filters by using the filter index. The logic channel allows you to apply a sensor to a block, checking its state based on item, fluid, or energy output, which you can then combine with a color coding system to move items only if certain criteria are met. You can also connect multiple controllers using the router and the router cables for short distances, or a wireless router with an antenna dish for wireless transfer across dimensions. XNet can be daunting for beginners but offers functionality not found in a lot of other logistic mods. Sadly, it can't move a lot of resources simultaneously, making it suboptimal for bulk transfers. This places XNet at the top of B tier ahead of Powah. Now we have a mod most people might have used so far, Pipez. This mod adds simple, upgradable pipes for every resource type. In general, there are item pipes, energy pipes, fluid, gas, and a universal pipe that combines all of those together. These pipes can be upgraded with 4 different tiers, from basic to ultimate. The maximum transfer speed for items is 64 items per tick, resulting on average in 1.8 items per microsecond, which is surprisingly good, especially since pipes are known for being laggy. For energy, the maximum speed is 131,072 FE per tick, resulting in about 23,800 FE per microsecond, making it about average. For fluids, the maximum speed is 10,000 millibucket per tick, resulting in around 250 millibuckets per microsecond, making it below average. But filtering is where Pipez truly shines. In my opinion, it has the best filtering options besides integrated dynamics, while being very easy to use. You can filter by types, tags, mods, and even write custom NBT tags, making integrated dynamics and Pipez the only 2 mods capable of this. To summarize, Pipez offers average transport speeds and less lag than most people expect, and a powerful yet easy filtering system. This gives Pipez an A-tier ranking behind Mekanism. Next in line is RFTools Control, which uses a computer-based system that also adds a graphical way to program and automate tasks. To start, you need a programmer, which opens a UI for building programs through puzzle-like events. Every program starts with a yellow event as a trigger. For items, use the fetch item and push item events. Then you configure the repeating event to 1 tick, then set fetch item to go up and slot out to 1. Repeat the same thing for the push event, but change the side to down. And then you save the program on a program card. The processor needs Powah, a CPU, and a program. Once you enable it and add the slots, the transportation should start. The maximum item speed is 500 items per tick, resulting in 12.5 items per microsecond, the 4th highest value. It can't transport power, but for fluids, the maximum speed is 80,000 millibuckets per tick, resulting in 1,600 millibuckets per microsecond, making it above average. Filtering options include item types, amounts, tags, and some attribute matching, but no input filtering. Unfortunately, the mod has some issues with bugs and crashes, leading to my word corrupting twice while testing. The word corruption, the bad UI design, and the difficult setup for easy tasks leaves RFTools Control with an F tier ranking ahead of wireless chargers. Now let's talk about Flux Networks, a power logistics mod that lets you build energy networks to transfer power wirelessly. This mod is quite simple. The 2 main items you need are a flux plug and a flux point. The flux plug receives power and the flux point outputs it. To connect them, you need to create a network and assign it to both of them. The transfer limit is 2.147 billion FE per tick by activating the bypass limit, which exceeds the initial 800,000 FE per tick. Also, this setup doesn't produce lag, making it the best wireless energy transporter. Additionally, you can use the Flux controller to charge your inventory with power. Flux Networks is a standard in most players' energy setups for a good reason. It's cheap, easy to understand, and powerful. However, since this is a full logistics ranking, it can't get an S tier, which it would get for energy alone. Instead, it gets an A tier behind Mekanism. We have reached the last mod, Applied Energistics 2, a classic that lets you store, transport, and automate almost any resource in the game. A typical setup consists of a ME controller, a ME drive with cells of the type you need, a terminal, and an import or export bus for the resource transportation. Applied Energistics 2 has a strong modding community, allowing it to transport almost every resource from generic items and fluids to energy source, mana, and gas. Additionally, there's the add-on Extended AE that adds further upgrades for item transportation and filtering. On the item transportation side, you can reach a maximum speed of 310 items per tick without any lag using the Extended AE buses, placing it second behind Refined Storage. The maximum energy transfer speed is 2.147 billion FE per tick, putting it at the top with Flux Networks and integrated dynamics. For fluids, the speed is 19,000 millibuckets per tick without any lag, placing it 4th in the fluid ranking. Filtering wise, with the add-on, we can filter for item types, specific amounts, tags, mods, and it also offers stocking and auto-crafting options. Applied Energistics 2 is very powerful, especially with its add-ons. It ranks second in item transportation, first in energy, and fourth in fluids, offering the best auto-crafting and stocking as well as extensive resource support. This makes Applied Energistics 2 the best logistics mod, placing it at the top of this ranking. If you want to know where to store all the items you're moving, check out my storage ranking video on the right. I hope you enjoyed this video, and with that, I wish you all an amazing day.